who was saying some disrespectful stuff about Kobe as well. I forgot about this girl. I forgot about her, but we're not even going to go there because we're on to the next. So today it was reported that Nicki Minaj's brother, he was sentenced to 25 to life. So TMZ reported, and a lot of the blogs reported, that Nicki Minaj's brother, he was sentenced to 25 years to life for sexually assaulting his stepdaughter. So I'm going to read to you what they have written up. It says, on Monday morning, the fate of Nicki Minaj's brother, Jelani Maraj, was determined. Nearly 3 years after he was convicted of sexually assaulting his former stepdaughter in their home, back in 2017, after a long-standing trial, Maraj was convicted of predatory sexual assault against a child and endangering the welfare of a child. During the trial, the victim testified that Maraj raped her repeatedly between April and November 2015 while her mother was out of the house. But Maraj's attorney argued that the allegations were part of a $25 million plot to extort his famous sister, in which the girl's mothers forced both her and her brother to go along with the alleged lies. Despite the defense claim, the brother account of the incident in which he witnessed Maraj touching his sister in 2015 helped seal the deal for prosecution. Now, just 5 years after his arrest and 2 after his conviction, Maraj has been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Prior to sentencing, Maraj's defense read a character letter from his sister, Nicki Minaj, which explained that her brother was her hero who saved their mother from domestic violence. What the fuck do that got to do with him touching on a little girl? Anyways, he is the most patient, gentle, genuine, selfless man I know, Minaj reportedly said in the letter. He has been my hero. Maraj also defended himself and apologized for all the hurt he caused over the last few years, saying, "I like to apologize for the pain I've caused. I had an excessive drinking problem. I put myself," and then they want you to go to their website for the rest. I already got enough. I'm already disturbed.
Okay, so that was what was reported yesterday during Gossip Hour, but I decided to see if there was any more information out there about this situation, and I went to TMZ, and I did not notice until recently how TMZ has a big bias. I thought that they were like the news where they don't have any bias or they don't try to shape certain things for celebrities. They just give the news. But each time, or, like recently, I've been noticing they've been being more like a blogger, and because it's like us bloggers, we have our opinions. Like in some situations, we don't insert our opinions and we kind of leave it down the middle. But sometimes we do have our opinions, or we do, go one way or another. But it's weird to see a news source that is supposed to be like credible shape things a certain way. So I went to Baller Alert, and they had their thing up yesterday. But like I said, I went to TMZ, and they kind of tried to, put the narrative a certain way for Nicki Minaj. Then I went to page 6, and they were more detailed. And I think that's kind of where Baller Alert probably got their news article from. And I looked at the two, and I just was like shaking my head. So I'm going to read what TMZ has written up. And then I'm going to go to page 6 and read what they have written up to compare the difference in the reporting. Also, what I noticed was when I also was going to see what they had written up for Nicki Minaj's brother, they put up another article about Meek Mill and the whole mall situation, trying to shape it in her favor again. And now this time they're saying, oh, well, Meek Mill mad dogged them, so that's what caused the shouting match. And I'm just like, so y'all on Nicki payroll, like y'all supposed to be the news. Y'all not supposed to be acting like us bloggers. That's disturbing to me. But anyway, so let me read to you what they have written up on her brother, and then, like I said, I'm gonna go to page 6 and read what they have. Okay, so this is what is reported on TMZ. So it basically says Nicki Minaj brother gets 25 to life for child rape, and then they have a photo of her brother. And then if you go to the article that they written up, it's very short, very brief, not detailed at all. And it says Nicki Minaj's brother was just sentenced to 25 years to life in prison following the guilty verdict in his child rape trial. Judge Robert McDonald sentenced Jelani Maraj in a New York court Monday, several months after the verdict had been reached. As we reported, Maraj was found guilty of predatory sexual assault against a child and endangering the welfare of a child in a trial that lasted less than 3 weeks. At the time of the verdict, the Nassau County DA told us, "We hope that today's verdict will help the family the healing process." Back in 2017, Nicki visited her brother while he was locked up. We're told she only went to support her mother. And then it says, TMZ broke the story. Nicki never testified during the trial, despite claims made by her brother's defense. So I just read that and I seen how they tried to shape it in a way. But I found it interesting that, like when you go to page 6, they're more detailed and you guys want to explain away like, oh, she went to go visit her brother, but she only went to support her mom. And, they're like, oh, she never testified. But then you guys also didn't mention that she did send in a character letter. And then if you hop on off of page 6, because like I said, it's pretty much like the basically what Baller Alert got or whatever, and it shows how she sent in this character letter. Not only did they not mention about the character letter on TMZ, they also did not mention the fact that she was on the witness list to witness on be a witness on his behalf. She didn't go up and testify, but according to Daily Mail, she was on the witness list. So I just looked at how they shaped it. And hold up, let me go back to I just looked at how they shaped it on here and then looked how the other actual, which I thought that they were on the same caliber of page 6 and the Daily Mail with showing what really be like giving the real news. I'm like, this is crazy. So I was going to read through page 6, but like I said, it's pretty much like what I've already read on Baller Alert. So I'm going to go to the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail has all the true tea, and they got way more details on this situation. So I'm going to read it from them, but I just was disappointed to see how they didn't even have to make this long. You didn't have to make this long, but you could have added a few more actual facts in here. This girl was 11 years old. That could have been added in here. You didn't have to add much, but you could have added the fact that this girl was 11, that his DNA was in her pajamas, and you could have added the pertinent details. It didn't have to be long, but you could have added the pertinent details in here, and then you could have added the correct details about Nicki Minaj visiting him and all of that. But anyways, so I'm going to go to the Daily Mail to read to you guys what they have written up on this. Oh my God, I hate their ads that be popping up. Like, get out the way. So it says Nicki Minaj brother is sentenced to 25 years to life for repeatedly raping his 11-year-old stepdaughter while her mother was at work, and despite his famous sister writing a letter to the judge on his behalf. Now, when it comes to people, this is what you call a child. Now, in the whole R. Kelly situation, they tried to make 17-year-old consenting teenagers who are legal to consent. They try to make that as similar to this. This is what I mean by the difference. There's a difference from an 11-year-old girl. This is just totally different to me. It just is. And just reading through the details is just, so let me just read through this and I'm going to just bring you guys up to speed. But I just was baffled at how TMZ shaped this in a way. And not only did they shape this, how they then came back with this whole Meek Mill story, and they tried to shape this like, oh, well, first they incorrectly reported it the first time. Then they came back and was like, oh, well, we got new tea. Basically what started it was he mad dogged them, and he mad dogged them. So that's what prompted it. And, it says Nicki Minaj and her husband got a nasty stare down by Meek Mill. And that's what started the epic shouting match. And it just was like, and then how they, also tried to paint this right here where Kenneth, I guess he was seen hitting this thing at the carnival. Then they were like, hold up, let me see where I seen that. Oh yeah, it says, our sources say Meek's so petty, he seemingly mocked Kenneth, who back in March was shown at a carnival hitting a boxing machine arcade game. Meek followed suit several months later, even talking smack to the punching bag. So because he several months later punched a punching bag like so many men do, he's trying to mock Kenneth Petty. Like, I just don't like the way they shaped this. I don't like the way that they have been, reporting stuff. And then they're talking about how he previewed the lyrics in a song that he did against Nicki Minaj, but failed to mention the lyrics in Nicki Minaj's song where she took shots at him, and how she mentioned him at her concert, and how she's taking shots at him in interviews. Like, if you're going to mention Meek's side, mention hers too. I don't like that. I don't like stuff like this. And it was just evident. And so I was just baffled. But anyways, back to her brother, because I was just like, I feel like, I don't know who on who payroll, if there is a such thing of people being on teams, or celebrities paying them or whatever to be on their side. But I just had a huge side eye when I seen how they reported her brother, and then how they tried to shape the whole Meek Mill thing and didn't add her part or her faults in it, or things that she's actually done, left out pertinent details when it came to this. But we're going to get into it because the Daily Mail got it, and we're going to read through it, like I said. So anyway, so it says Nicki Minaj's brother has been sentenced to 25 years to life in a New York prison after he repeatedly raped his 11-year-old stepdaughter while her mother was at work. Jelani Maraj, 41, was found guilty of predatory sexual assault against a child and endangering the welfare of a child in 2017. And on Monday, Nassau County Supreme Court Judge Robert McDonald refused to give him a soft sentence. It was despite his lawyer reading a 26 letter his famous sister wrote in a bid to reduce his time behind bars, calling him the most patient, gentle, genuine, giving, selfless man I know. The judge said that his view is that you ruined this child. So then it goes on to say, that he was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. But let's read through this. The judge says, you raped this child. You raped her over and over again, the judge added. Maraj's long sentence was for sexual assault, but he was also sentenced to 364 days for the endangerment of a child. Maraj had been held in custody awaiting sentencing since he was found guilty of the felony following a 3-week trial. The victim, now 14, testified in excruciating detail about sexual assaults that she said occurred as frequently as 4 times a week and sometimes twice a day. She told the court she had become suicidal over the abuse. I didn't think I could make it through the day without an anxiety attack, she said. I felt I had no voice. The victim, who is now his former stepdaughter, said Monday. Maraj has maintained innocence and was stoic in Long Island courtroom Monday. Minaj's brother told the court, I'd like to apologize for the pain that I caused. I had an excessive drinking problem. So he wants to maintain his innocence, but apologize for the pain that he caused. But if you're innocent, what pain did you cause? And why was your DNA in her pajamas? Anyways, and then he's saying he had an excessive drinking problem, but then you're innocent. Make it make sense, homie. Make it make sense. Anyways, they add in, and it says his father, and alcoholism can be hereditary. These things can pass down from father to child, mother to child, things like that. It says that his father also had, and I'm not saying that it happens in every case. Not every child of an alcoholic becomes an alcoholic, but there are instances where this kind of alcoholism is passed down. So anyways, it says his father had an alcohol and drug problem and burned down the family's house in Trinidad and Tobago in 1987. It prompted Maraj's mother to move to New York City, and Maraj followed when he was 10. Maraj added that he's just asking for mercy from the court. So it says his lawyer, David Schwartz, said that he plans to appeal. We will be appealing this excessive sentence, he told Pitchfork. There was clear juror misconduct among other issues. Schwartz did not elaborate on the issues. Neither Maraj nor his famous sister testified at the trial, even though during opening arguments, defense lawyers said that the rapper was on the witness list. So that means that she was on the witness list to probably back up the character letter that she already sent in on his behalf when she was saying, you know, that he was her hero and he was so kind and gentle and, you know, he would, you know, do all of these things or whatever. So anyways, it goes on to say the victim testified that the abuse started in April 2015 and continued until that November. He slapped her if she refused his advances. I had went to him to go say good morning. I hugged him as usual. I went to go lie next to him as I usually do. When I did that, he told me to go close the door, she told the court. He told me to take off my pants. Then he told me to come under the covers with him, and he started caressing me. We would have sex in the bedroom and in my bedroom and in the we would have sex in his bedroom, in my bedroom, in the basement. So basically in his bedroom and her bedroom. The girl's younger brother testified at the trial that he witnessed one assault when he was just 8 years old. It says Maraj threatened to have their mother sent away if they told anyone. I thought he would send me away from my mother. That's what he said. That's what he said would actually happen. So I didn't say anything, the victim testified. She added they were told to keep quiet or Jelani would hit us or we would get sent away because Jelani would deny it. But the boy reported it to a school administrator. He saw Maraj touching his sister while they were partially closed. He was arrested December 2015. The prosecutor said DNA evidence recovered from the girl's pajama pants was linked to Maraj. It emerged Maraj would call the girls his puppet. In October 2019, attempt to overturn the case was thrown out. So they tried to overturn the case and that was thrown out. It says Maraj's lawyers tried to convince the jury that the rape allegations were concocted by the girl's mother as part of a scheme to get Minaj, 37, to pay the family $25 million in hush money. It emerged the mother's lawyer had asked for the money from Maraj after he was arrested, claiming it was to get the potential civil lawsuit settled. But the civil attorney, James R. Ray III, later admitted the mother had no idea what was going on. He said she was never involved as far as what we did. So I guess basically they tried to ask him for the money, I guess basically the lawyer tried to ask him like, listen, we're gonna go after you civilly for what you've done, and because of what you've done, if you want to settle now, you can. And then they tried to blame it on the mom and tried to excuse away what he actually did by trying to say, oh, they tried to extort him, when that was not the case. And the mom wasn't even in on that, and she didn't even know anything about that. And if he was so innocent, why is he saying that he was, he apologizes for the pain that he caused and talking about he got a drinking problem? So anyways, I get that. Like, when these things happen, people do go after them civilly. So I can see how the lawyer was like, you can settle now because we're going to go after you either way. But anyways, so it says, okay, so, where was I at? Okay, so I already read that part. Okay, I already read that part about his DNA being in her pajamas. Okay, I already read that part. Okay. So now down here it says Minaj, real name Onika Tanya Maraj paid her brothers $100,000 bail back when he was first arrested for the crime in 2015. The siblings were reportedly quite close prior to the arrest, with Minaj previously plunking down $30,000 to pay for her older brother's wedding to the mother of his rape victim. Following the conviction, however, sources said the two grew apart. A week after his conviction, Minaj visited her brother in jail, but reportedly only did so to support their mother, Carol. Carol is the big girl. If she, anyways. While Minaj appeared to distance herself from her brother following the conviction, she ironically married a man who was previously convicted of a similar crime. In the fall of 2019, the rapper tied the knot with a convicted sex offender, Kenneth Petty, who served time for the 1995 rape of a 16-year-old girl in Queens, New York. Now, I mean, they didn't really have to add that because that doesn't have anything to do with him. That doesn't really have anything to do with this situation. But if they want to talk about what Nicki Minaj has, her link to her brother, I think that is, cool or whatever. But that part didn't have anything to do with it. But I wanted to give you guys a little more details, give you guys the testimony of the victim, who was 11 years old, and share with you guys that his DNA was in her pajamas, and just give you guys a little more insight than I did on the previous reporting. Page 6, like I said, theirs was similar to what I had already read through Baller Alert. But let me know what you guys think about this. And what do you guys think about TMZ's obvious bias? Now, like I said, they didn't have to put the part about Kenneth in there. And I don't expect, TMZ to have, mentioned that part because it didn't have anything to do. But I just find it awkward that they didn't lend actual pertinent information in here. Like, it's just little things like, making sure people knew that the girl was 11, making sure that people knew that, just certain things, if you're going to report on it, I feel like are important to the story. And it's just weird that they would, shape it in a way. I don't know. But you guys, let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think down below. Like I said, what do you think about TMZ? What do you think about the brother situation? When the attorneys explained the potential civil lawsuit, I understand that angle perfectly. This is already after all of it. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, there is a total difference when you talk about somebody that's 11. Then when you talk about somebody that is 17, about to be 18, it's just totally different from somebody consenting and a child. Like, because when you're 11, the mind state, it's like different. 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, like each of those years are significant in, the brain development in the child. By the time they're 17, they don't have as much knowledge as a 30-year-old or whatever, but it's just a big difference of that. And I just think that is just disgusting. I understand her being there for her brother, because that, after all, that is her brother and family is who you have. But I don't know. But like I said, they plan to, they plan to try to get it thrown out. They plan to appeal it so that he doesn't have a 25-year sentence. Do you think that the sentence was too harsh? What do you think in regards to his sentencing? What do you think about the case altogether? Like I said, I just don't understand if he's claiming to be innocent and he's saying he's innocent. I don't understand him saying he's sorry for the pain that he's caused if he didn't cause no pain. If you're innocent, what pain did you cause? And why are you talking about you have an excessive drinking problem? To me, that is an admission of guilt in my eyes. That is not a plea of innocence to me, because if I'm innocent, motherfucker, I'm innocent. I ain't do that shit. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all just out for money. I wouldn't be talking about, oh, well, I'm sorry for the pain that I caused you, and I had a drinking problem, and then try to blame him fondling her on a drinking. Like, that just don't add up to me. So to me, I took that as guilt, an admission of guilt. And I just feel like I just couldn't, I don't know. Y'all let me know, like I said, what you think down below.